Our next guest authored one of the most remarkable performances in the history of major championship golf. 20 years ago at Augusta, shot the lowest score, won by the largest margin, and became the youngest Masters champion. And 20 years later, he has authored a book about that performance, the 1997 Masters. It's called My Story. And Tiger Woods joins us now from New York City. And my first thought, Tiger, as I think about 20 years of this performance and longer than that knowing you, is how did you and I get old all of a sudden?
Well, how about you working right there in Orlando all those years?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It was, we aged quickly.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah, hardly it's been 20 years.
Yeah, I agree. But the book obviously documents something remarkable. I'm often interested in the motivation, but in this case, I can understand why you would want to document this. It was important. There was a lot that went into it. There's a lot to unpack emotionally, and I'm just interested in the process. What was it like for you?
It was fun to look back in those times and to go through just how memorable it was, but also then again, it also brought back a lot of deep emotions too, with my family and with my dad. Things that were a little tough at times to go through because there were some really tough moments that, losing my dad and him coming back, and then my mom, she was so proud of what I had done, and it was amazing how we did as a family.
I think about a lot of images and moments from that week. Obviously, your mom, and your dad there off the 18th it's seared in my brain. For you specifically, and I know you still have categoric recall, each moment, each shot. As you went back and played through this in your mind and you committed it to paper, were there specific moments that were the most fun to remember?
Well, the most fun was, I think, that turning my round around on the first day and shooting 30. The first 9 was not fun to recall, shot for shot. There were 40 of them.
Yeah, you were awful.
I was. I putted well to get to that point.
Yeah, exactly. How'd you shoot 40? I made a bunch of putts.
Exactly. I made a nice bogey putt on 9. But turning it around and then shooting a 66 and a 65 there with Monty, and then going out with Constantino last day and shooting 69 and getting it done. Those were some pretty incredible moments.
And over the years, you've added to the pile 14 majors, and I feel like I've asked some version of this question, but given the amount of time that's passed, is this still the singular one major win that it stands above and has its own special place because of all that was involved with it?
Well, it is the most memorable and probably the most significant win I've ever had. Just because it was my first major championship.
Right.
The things that it gave me. It gave me a 10-year exemption. That was the last year they gave me. They gave 10-year exemptions on tour. In '98, when Mark won 2, he only got 5 years. So I had a job for the next 10 years at 21 years old, and it certainly put a lot of ease to me. And the fact that I was able to be in major championships for the next 10 years allowed me to feel like I was more aggressive, and it gave me so much more confidence. I didn't have to wait around to know if I could win a major championship. I won one early. It was my first one as a pro. So I knew going forward that I could get it done, and I think it significantly helped me going forward.
The book, it's interesting because it takes us through some of the changes that happened at Augusta National. Obviously, it's a completely different golf course, and so much has changed in the game. There's one thing that's interesting to me that hasn't, and I told you about this last year. I did this symposium at the University of Maryland about 20 years after you. We presumed, and I think we hoped, that maybe there'd be more players, African-American players, that followed the lead. Harold Varner made it out on tour, which is great. He came up through the minor leagues of golf, for those that don't know the different lower-level tours. Does it surprise you, Tiger, that 20 years later that we just don't have more representation on tour and that it hasn't happened yet?
Well, I think the game has certainly exploded, around the world, and
no doubt.
I think throughout Asia, throughout Europe, throughout South America, it has exploded, but it just has been flat to slightly down in America. And the sustainability and the introduction to for minorities into the game, and then the sustainability of them playing, it's so difficult. It's become so expensive, and trying to get out to properties. Public golf courses are now being turned around. Developments are now changing, and it's just been, there was a boom when I first came out on tour. It was a little spike, but then it became very flat. I mean, I noticed at my junior golf clinics that it became flat throughout the early mid 2000s, and then I think it was represented as you went up the pyramid into the professional ranks.
We know you've won the Masters 4 times. There's no clever way for me to ask, so I'm just going to ask. What has to happen between now and the start of the Masters this year to give you an opportunity to play in it?
Well, I got to get stronger. I've got to get more reps under my belt. I certainly need to get more practice time. I need to get out there on the golf course.
But can
I've
you?
got a lot of work to do.
Can you do that?
Yeah, I can. I can do it, but I need more time. I need to work on it, and that's going to be the hard part. Is going out there and feeling that I can be prepared to win. I look forward to the Champions Dinner. I look forward to all that Augusta has to offer, but I still need to get a lot better.
I know that maybe you don't know, but what happened between when you played at your event and we saw those moments, those flashes, social media is freaking out. Here comes Tiger going low, this and that, and it looks sort of like old Tiger. And then after Torrey Pines and the trip overseas, all of a sudden it's the back again. Is there some specific thing that you can put your finger on that happened?
Well, it's the fact that I've had 3 back operations.
Yeah.
My back will never be what it used to be. Unfortunately, that's the reality of it, is that I'm going to have good periods, I'm going to have bad periods, for the rest of my life. And especially if I load it like I do playing golf, it's going to be, that's just that way. I wish it was different. Well, once you operate on it, it's never going to be the same. And that's just, I'm going to have good moments and bad moments.
Was it surprising when it acted up again?
Well, yeah, it was surprising the fact that it hurt that much. That I've had moments where it's hurt, but that's just the way it's going to be. But for the rest of my life, I'm going to have those moments where it's going to be up and down. I won't be able to work on my game like I used to. I won't be able to train like I used to. I'll have to alter it and find other ways around it, and that's just the reality of the situation.
I don't want to give away the book, but I would tell people that they're going to find it interesting. They're going to learn a lot. When they get to the end of the book, though, there were a couple of lines that I found really interesting. They stuck with me. I want to ask you about them. You talk, and we're talking about it right now, just about these physical limitations. You say, I can't necessarily do what I want to do, and I know I'll miss it when I'm done playing tournament golf. How much time, Tiger, have you spent thinking about being done with tournament golf?
A lot. I think that over the last couple of years, not being able to play a full schedule and not be able to play and practice, at a high level like I used to, and then not being able to participate with my kids' lives, that has been probably the most difficult. My kids are very active. They want to play soccer. They want to play other different sports. Want daddy to play. And when I was struggling there, laying on the ground or laying in bed, I'm not able to do those things. That really took a toll on me mentally, because I wasn't able to participate in my kids' lives. And have I looked at it differently going forward? Yeah, and that's my number one priority, is make sure that I'm able to do the things with them, and then participating in golf at the highest level is it's not the priority that it used to be, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah, and that's why it lingered with me, because it's it seems that there's a peace of mind that the guy I knew 20 years ago, and throughout those 20 years that had this singular laser focus that allowed you to win as often as you did, I don't think would have been at peace. And I guess we all grow and we reach a different place. And the process to get to that place, has it been in some ways as difficult mentally as it has been physically?
Scotty, it has been difficult. There's no getting around that. It has been very tough on me to know that I don't have, at the highest level, I don't have 20 plus years, like looking back in '97 there. I knew I was going to play golf for a very long time at the highest level and play against these guys. Now, I'm looking forward to, my other things in my life. Golf doesn't dominate, what I used to do and how I used to prepare. It's just a part of my life. My kids dominate my life. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to be around, and that's what I want to participate in. And that's okay. That wasn't the case in '97. That wasn't the case when I first came out on tour. I could focus on my body and my game and what I wanted to do, my own selfish ambitions. But once you have kids, it changes people, and it certainly has changed me over the years, and that's what I was alluding to in the book.
Yeah, and I became a dad late in life too, and I tell anyone that will listen, you should never be a father until you're willing to make somebody else more important than you. And I know that
Correct.
With your children, that's what you've done. And if that means that you have to put, entertaining us and pursuing, those majors that fueled you for so many years, then so be it, right?
That's what makes me happy. I know competing in golf tournaments, it's one thing, but I'm telling you, watching my kids play and watching my kids do, grow, and the conversations I'm having and teaching them, I would have missed out on a lot of that stuff because I was playing a full schedule. So it's been a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
But also it's been very difficult at the same time, physically and mentally. But also it's been so much more rewarding that I've been able to be around them.
I'm smiling listening to you talk about your kids, and I'm smiling looking at the kid on the back of this book with that sensational head of hair. And I've been telling you, bro, for a long time, I am your GPS, and I just want to know when are we gonna just come home, man? It's time to come home.
I know, I get it.
Look
we
at
are not
me, brother.
what we used
Look
to
at
be.
me.
I get
GPS.
it. I get it. No, I've got my helipad up top, and I'm very happy with that.
Okay.
I got a hat on so I don't get sunburned up here in this little center.
Right.
My kids make fun of me because clothes didn't fit; they were too big. And look at Daddy with a full head of hair. Look at the hairline.
Yeah, but
It's done the moonwalk on me.
yeah. Hey, listen. But you can tell them about the guy who did that thing back in '97 and changed a lot of things. And I was there then, and I won't forget it. And it was cool to be a part of this project with you. Those that will listen to this book
Scotty, thank you.
will hear me do that, and I appreciate you extending that invite. It was neat to do, and I appreciate your time today. And I hope I see you at Augusta.
You got it. I'll see you up there, and thank you again for all the memories and all the time you spent. It's been going back down memory lane with you, and it's been a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure, Tiger.
You got it, brother.
Thanks for watching. If you want more great content, be sure to subscribe to ESPN's YouTube channel so you'll always stay up to date on all things SVP, which sounds awesome. You don't want to miss out.